a survivor of sexual violence.
I'm a victim of rape, molestation, and sex trafficking.
I remember the touching, the fondling as he was drying me off.
And then he says, "Are you sure it was rape?" I woke up tattooed across my back with his name, and he told me I was his.
I could feel the heat, I could hear the ringing, and he just went off.
It just kept happening, and I couldn't understand why it was happening to me.
My name is Innocence, and believe it or not, this is my story. My name is Innocence Smith. I am 46 years old. I am a sexual assault and molestation survivor, and this is my story. Prior to being for sexual assaults and violations, what I tend to remember is just more being an outgoing child. I like doing things such as just being out in nature, and I always loved reading and being more creative and artistic. The first incident that I can distinctly remember was incidents of him going beyond just the brushing against us when he actually the first time penetrated me. And by that, I mean with fingers. That particular weekend was the first time he started threatening me because it had gone beyond just petting and stroking.
And remember, if you tell anybody, I kill you, your family, and your dog. You understand? Anybody.
As a child, your world is just very different than the adults. It's almost like you and them, and so you don't know who to trust. When your trust has already been violated by adults, you don't quite know who to tell. I wanted to tell, but everyone that I wanted to tell, he had distinctly told me that he would take away from me. It definitely affected me, both positively and negatively for many, many years. Initially, when I first started getting any kind of courage to say anything about it, it was between two cousins that I was very close to. When I did tell them, the horrible thing was to find out at that time that it was a Me Too sort of situation.
So, you haven't been acting like yourself lately. What's going on?
He touched me in the way that he shouldn't have.
Are you serious? Me too.
Me too.
When it finally came out about what was going on, this was only discovered through children talking and accidentally overhearing stuff.
What about Frank? What is it? What did you hear?
I only knew that supposedly he had a reputation, if you will, for young women, for liking very, very young women and women that were close to him.
And you know his sister, come out the one that shoved it in here, Priscilla.
Uh-huh.
Well, they say Priscilla used to date Frank and she put him out.
Oh, really?
That ain't the part. The disturbing part that's disturbing is why she put him out.
Why? Go on and tell me.
So she found out that Frank was molesting her love.
Around the same time, my grandmother that he was just friends with, she started noticing, I don't know when she first started noticing, but she started commenting to him about not asking us to do things.
That was good. Now what do you want to watch?
Good times.
Good Times. What do you know about Good Times? Okay, well, let me see. Well, you gotta find that I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see nothing on that remote control.
My two favorite girls. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing?
Nothing much. All right.
What we watching?
Well, we're trying to find Good Times.
Good time.
Yeah. Can we help you?
Yeah, we're trying to watch a little TV.
Okay.
Matter of fact, why don't you come on upstairs and get Granddaddy a good head shaking, scratching down?
Absolutely not. She's not going upstairs with you. You can scratch your own flaky, dry, nasty head. Would you stop asking her to do everything for you?
Why aren't you tripping?
She's a child. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now look, if he asks you to do anything else, you tell him no. You tell him your nana said so.
Okay.
Okay.
There came a time when one of my aunts witnessed something that she didn't think was right, which prompted her to ask me a question. I felt like that was my opportunity then to go ahead and say something.
And Lord, we thank you. Amen.
Amen.
You know you can talk to me about anything, right?
I know.
No, Stanka, I'm serious. We're not playing right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I need you to tell me the truth. Because I already know the truth. I just want to see what you're gonna say.
Okay.
Has Frank tried to touch you in a way that he shouldn't? Stanka, are you serious?
It just kind of like all came out and I told him everything.
Come on, let's go tell Grandma.
And so she told my grandmother what I had told them.
Innocence say Frank been touching her.
What? He wasn't there physically at the time that he go to the store or something, but he was around.
No. You tell Nana what happened.
Frank says we had a relationship.
No. Get up in that room right now. Lock that door and do not come out until I tell you to come out.
And so when he did come back though, it led to a confrontation between him and my grandmother. And all I'll really say about that is that it didn't really end well for him.
Oh no, enough is enough, but today is the day. Get your ass up. Get out my house. Get out.
What are you talking about, man?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Don't wake me up like that.
You
I
know
told
exactly what I'm talking about. Get
you better
out
compel
my
me,
house.
little girl.
Little girl.
I told you.
I am your
I'm the
elder.
man of this house.
You are not the man of the house.
I am the man of this house.
Get out my house. Get
You know
out.
what? I'm out of here, man. I ain't got to be dealing with this.
Thank you.
I can find another girl to argue with
Thank
me
you.
all the damn time.
Thank you. Good and bye. Thank you.
You gonna miss me?
No, I'm not.
Guarantee you.
Yeah. You don't have to be here. That's right. Get out.
I ain't gotta
Get
be
out
a little
my house.
raggedy
That's
ass
right.
house
That's
anyway.
right. Get out my
That's what's
raggedy
up.
house. That's
Hey,
right.
that's what's up, man.
Thank you.
You be
Why
tripping
are you still
all the
talking?
time.
Why are you
though.
still talking?
That's what all I'm saying. You be tripping all the time. I ain't got time for that, man.
Go. Yeah. And take all the rest of your trash out there with you. What? You think you're gonna molest my grandbaby and stay in my house? Is you crazy?
Ain't nobody touching
Are you
that.
crazy?
I ain't touch your
Get out my
granddaughter. What are
house.
you talking about?
Get out my house. Bye.
I'm not out. I'm
Bye.
gone.
If you ever come back over here, I'm gonna kill your black ass.
That's pretty much how that ended with him, because once it was all said and done, he never came back around my family again.
All right, we're here. Come on, let's go.
Mama, do I have to get out the car this time? Can I stay in the car this time?
No, you can't. Your family's in there and they want to see you. They're going to be asking about you.
But do I have to see them every time? They're weird.
You heard what I said. Innocence, get out the car. Let's go.
Man, every time you go and get your haircut, he be filling up on me.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about filling on you? I don't even believe you. Why
would I lie?
How come we didn't say anything then? How come we just not saying something? I don't believe you. Get out the car, girl. I don't even believe you. Get out.
They had a barber shop kind of at home. I was there with my mother, who was getting her hair cut by this person. He turned my mother in such a way that she wasn't facing where she could see the mirror, that she could see me reflected in the mirror, I should say. And it was like, oh, well, you're gonna be my little helper, so come, give me this and give me that. And he kept trying to inch me closer to him, but it was so I could see what he was doing and so I could help. He kept brushing up against me and touching me and caressing me, whatnot, every time that he figured my mom wasn't looking. And there was finally one point where he had put a cape on me. When he went to put the cape on, he reached under and fondled my genitalia. So that just really freaked me out. One, because my mom was there. I just thought surely she saw something, she happened to notice something, but I didn't realize that she didn't. It got to the point where this person, I never really wanted to go in their house, but I couldn't help it because they were a close family member. So when we would go, a lot of times I would say, I don't want to get out of the car. Like I would cry and beg to be able to stay in the car because I didn't want to get out of the car if I knew that they were home. There was a separate incident where I unfortunately was harassed and molested by my babysitter's sons. One was close to my age, but not quite my age, and the other was older.
Hey.
What? Gross, what are you doing? Get out! Put that thing away!
I tried to tell the babysitter about some incidents that had happened with her sons, trying to lock me in the room with them and trying to corner me in the room, or if I would be on the bed trying to color something or read or whatever, me getting in the bed with me, laying on top of me, doing things, always trying to touch me, always trying to make me kiss them, things like trying to make me show them my genitals and exposing themselves to me.
Miss Love?
Yes.
I don't know how to tell you this, but your son keeps doing sexual stuff.
You a damn lie.
She became so irate and so pissed off and basically told me that I was a little slut and I was a liar and there was no way that her sons would touch me or do anything like that or whatever, and I was just making up stuff.
As a matter of fact, Junior!
She's gonna lie anyway.
Junior!
Ma'am?
Have you been exposing yourself to her?
Man, no.
Like I said, get your life. Get your life.
At this time, I was somewhat afraid to tell about what was going on because this was around the same time that I had 2 other situations. I became very withdrawn and very quiet, and at the time still had a lot of nightmares. And I just didn't really want to be around a lot of people. So there was an incident when I was around 16 with this guy that I'd been dating.
Silver. Oh, that bitch right there.
He was more of a bad boy. My mom did not like him. I met him with my daughter, who was a young child at the time, basically an infant, you might as well say. And he showed up with his best friend.
I thought you was by yourself. Here go your stuff.
Well, give me that shit. You did?
He getting out?
Yeah. Hey, bro, give me a second.
What I'm gonna do with my baby?
He gonna watch you just for a second while you out here. Just, fuck, I look like a daycare? Bro.
What you mean?
Bro. Hey, bro, give me a second.
Minimum time on.
Yeah.
I figured we were just talking, my guard was down. So it started off okay, as far as, okay, you know, here's your stuff.
Here's your stuff. I know what you did.
What I do? What you know?
I'd had enough just of everything. There had been a lot of drama with this person. And I just wanted to be done with it. As soon as he found out that I had the audacity to want to break up with him, how dare I? Then it was basically, it seemed like it was, well, he was just going to punish me. He was going to show me I wasn't going to break up with him. And he pretty much said, so, well, you don't get to tell me when it's over. I told you when it's over. And you're not going to leave me unless I say so. And he proceeded to pull out a gun that I did not know that he had.
Hey. Fuck you think you going? You think you good? You think you run this?
What are you doing?
Listen. Lean the seat back, man.
My baby is out there. I don't
lean the motherfucking seat back.
Literally threatened me and told me that I was going to do what he wanted me to do, or else he was going to kill me and kill my child. And so all I could really think at that time was I didn't want anything to happen to my baby. Not saying that I didn't care what happened to me, but I didn't want anything to happen to her. I complied because he made threats against my child.
That's how much shit. Lean the seat back.
My baby is out there. I don't
lean the motherfucking seat back. Lean the seat back.
He raped me in the vehicle. And when it was all said and done, I got my daughter back from his friend and proceeded to try to leave. And at first I started walking kind of slow because I wasn't sure what he was doing. And so I kept looking back to see what he was doing. And he was just watching me and laughing. They were, you know, both talking together and laughing. He was still sitting there though in the car. It was a small neighborhood and there was a couple of people that heard. And someone, I don't know who, managed to call the police before I got home. So there was a separate incident. This person I had met, had been dating for a short while, but for a while, it had been a few months, and had been introduced to several of his friends. He had a roommate at the time that was a female that was dating one of his close friends, and they all kind of hung out together a lot. We all went out for drinks and dancing. By the time we got to the second club, I had only had one drink there. As a matter of fact, I asked my boyfriend to get the drink for me. He sends his friend to get it.
All right. Thank you so much.
And shortly after I recall just a few sips out of my drink, which I think I ordered like martini. I recall having to go to the bathroom. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it's so hot in here.
Ooh, it's hot in here. Are you hot, baby? No. Oh my gosh, it's very hot. I'm starting to sweat.
I'll go to for my drink.
You know, let me go to the bathroom for a minute. I'll be back, okay?
Okay.
I don't know how much of it I drank after that. I just know that I took a few sips at least. And after that, I recall saying I was just feeling very sick, very hot, very sick, very much like I was gonna pass out. And I remember telling him I need some air.
I don't feel good. My head is hurting.
You wanna go back to my place?
Yeah. Yeah, that might be the best thing because I just don't feel good.
Yeah, let's go back to my place.
Okay.
Yeah, you take care of me.
And literally that was about all that I remember from that incident as far as what happened between being at the club until the next morning when I woke up. I wake up and I see my clothes kind of strewn throughout the room, and it's like they're inside out. Not like I would take them off, but just kind of thrown over in the corner. And I caught a glimpse of some condoms, like on the floor, on top of the bed, just kind of randomly. And I'm starting to go, okay, what's going on? Like freaking out because we weren't using those.
Dane! What the fuck is going on?
This whole scene wasn't making any sense. So as soon as I start coming to and I start asking him questions, he's like, you need to go.
I need to leave.
And I was like, what do you mean I need to go? Which really threw me off because I said, wait a minute, what's going on and what happened?
You said I need to go. I'm asking you a legitimate question.
You really don't remember?
No.
His face just drained. Like all the color drained out of his face. He got ghostly white and he was just like, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. You just need to go. And he's looking at me as if he's trying to gauge whether I'm telling the truth or not about what's going on. And the more he starts to realize I didn't remember what had happened or I didn't remember at that time, then he's like, okay, well, anyway, I gotta go. I'm late for work and I need to get to work. I got this job to do, and you just need to go. We'll talk about it.
And I can't talk right now.
You don't want to talk to me? How about you talk to the police? I'm gonna call them now.
And tell them what exactly?
And he's like, call and tell them what? And I'm like, okay, one, that something happened and you're not telling me, so I started asking where his friends were.
Where's Kirk and Daryl?
It's the morning. Okay, they're probably at home sleeping. It's just us here. Now please, go.
This was his condo with his roommate. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll get my stuff, but I'm still calling the police. So I start to leave and he's kind of hesitating, like on the one hand, he wanted to say something to me, but I guess he didn't want to say too much. When I woke up that morning, I started, after a little while, having like brief things like flashes that there was something that had happened. And I didn't know if it was a dream. It felt somewhat like a dream, but then again, it didn't. I started having these thoughts where I was seeing his friends rubbing on me and trying to take my clothes off and touching me and kissing me. And at one point, one sitting me in his lap. That's all I could really remember, but it was all so fuzzy and so hazy, I couldn't swear to it. I just knew what I was seeing. And I also knew that distinctively that I had been penetrated. I know I had bruises on me in certain spots around like my neck and on my arms and whatnot. I just had bruises that didn't make sense. And based on all of that, what was going on, I felt like I had been raped by him and his friends, and he just didn't want to own up to that. I had this discussion with the police, and essentially they said, well, he's saying that you initialized everything and it's consensual, and that the only reason why you're bruised was because there was rough sex, but you were into it, and his friends said that you were always talking about sex, that you were coming on to them, which was a complete lie. Having this discussion with the police, I went to the hospital and got tested for rape and for every STD known because I didn't consent to anything, and I knew that something had happened. Not true. What they failed to mention was I was studying to become a sexologist at the time, but there was no conversation about sex. It was about a profession. As I'd had this conversation with them in front of their wives and girlfriends, and actually most of the conversation was between their wife and the girlfriend because a lot of them didn't know what that was about. They'd never heard of a sexologist. And I wanted to help not just women, but people that had a similar story to mine and that had felt for so long that they had no voice, had no one they could talk to, had no one that they could speak to about just different things, not just about being, you know, a victim of molestation or rape, but just in being able to embrace and talk about sexuality in such a way that it was normal, it was healthy, it wasn't dirty, and that maybe if we could have those kind of conversations, people like the people that had inflicted their pain and their hurt and their anger, their rage, whatever that stuff was that they had dumped off on me when they violated me, that I could help to prevent people like that from hurting other people. I just wanted to help in any way that I could, and I saw that as a way to help. For much of my life, I believed a lot of negativity. I believed that I was dirty. I believed somehow it must have been my fault because I had been through so many instances with different people, and I'd come to believe that somehow I must have called that to me, or I must have wanted it, or it was something that I was doing to attract this kind of unwanted attention to myself. I very much felt like I was never going to be normal. Going through that for so many years off and on affected my perception. It affected my decisions. It affected who I trusted. It just seemed very much like I was caught up in a circle and I didn't really know how to get out of that. They have marked me, and they will always be a part of me, but I have learned how to reshape that story, that they don't define me in a negative way. I'm not going to tell you that they haven't defined me, because they have, but it helped to give me a different perspective. It made me a very protective mother of my own children. It made me very open to other individuals, not just women, but other individuals that have been through similar situations as mine. And I can empathize a lot with other people. So I think in so many ways it has shaped who I am, not just from the standpoint of the career choice that I made, but in trying to be a better human being, period. I can definitively say to you right now, today, that I've forgiven my abusers. And the reason I say that, and I even say that with such joy and such enthusiasm, is because I was confused about that for so long. I struggled with that for so long. And I felt like I couldn't not be angry at them. I could not still be pissed off, and I could not still want vindication for what they had done and for essentially painting me as a bad person, as a bad girl, as a liar, as all of these horrible things. The only way for me to really take my life back was to forgive them. I didn't do it for them, I did it for me. There was definitely a need for self-forgiveness. Once I forgave myself and I knew that none of that was anything that I had asked for or deserved, and I knew that I deserved to be happy and I deserved to be whole, I could begin to heal. My name is Innocence Smith, and believe it or not, this is my story.